Hey, welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of a Designer podcast. This is a weekly podcast where we talk about the latest in graphic design news from around the web. My name is Adam. I'm a freelance designer from the San Francisco Bay Area. I specialize in visual, UI design with a little bit of illustration. I like to give companies character. And I'm joined every week by my co-host, Terri. How are you doing today, Terri?
Hey, pretty good. Hey, Adam. Like I said, I feel like a broken record, but I love that line. Give company character. I love it. Hey, and as Adam was saying, my name is Terri. I'm a UX UI designer from the Bay Area, who I help bridge the gap between products and their end users. So, Adam, take it away.
Awesome. So every week we like to talk about how our week was last week. Terri, how was your week?
It was really good. It was very productive. I took some naps. I rest.
Productive naps.
Yeah, actually, I got the flu. That wasn't too fun. That was horrible. So if you're feeling down, or get that rest, take your vitamins, don't work too hard, get plenty of sleep, because that flu season is coming around and it just sucks. It pretty much just kicked me off my keister for about 3 to 4 days. Bad. It wasn't fun. But other than that, I was able to buy a audiobook. So I'm planning to listen to this coming week. My side projects, it's still going. I had a few people send me LinkedIn questions about Career Foundry and how I got started in UX. So that was pretty cool to answer them back and stuff like that. So that was fun. And yeah, that's about it. Just trying to keep my head above water and not drowning, basically. So Adam, how was your week?
Yeah, my week was it's actually really productive too. Although currently I'm fighting, I think maybe a little bit of that cold that you're talking about. I feel a little drained, but I've been working on that branding project that I was telling you about. Getting that off the ground, working on some logos for it, working on the website for it. So it's pretty fun. I don't know like how long I have. I kind of want to do a little bit more before I present it. So I'm still working on it. I'll probably be done, have something to show by the end of the week. And I've been also getting contacted by a couple of my old contracts. And, that's kind of really where the imposter syndrome kind of comes back. Cause every now and again I'll get contacted by these clients, and I don't I feel like I'm always surprised. I was like, oh really? you want me to do more work? Oh, great. Because I haven't heard from you in like about a month, so I thought it was done forever. And so it's a funny feeling, because you'd figure ongoing work is like ongoing, like weekly or bi-weekly, but when you haven't heard from some of these clients for a couple of months, you're like, oh, they've they've moved on. They didn't like my work. It's fine. I'll survive. I'll live. And then and then they contact you, and all these emotions coming back, and they go, oh my god, yes. What do you need? Let's
It's Christmas again for you.
Yeah, let's go out for coffee. I don't know. How's your family? And so I've been getting messages and hearing back. Although there's one client that I have that they sent me a message last week, and I go, oh yeah, let's we could totally get something started. Let me know what you need. And then nothing. And I'm like, okay, well, I haven't heard from you in a while, and then you contact me. What are we doing here? And so, that's one where I'm like, I should contact them back, and I probably will, but I'm like, I'm working on other contract work right now, and I'm doing this side branding project, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to throw in this other one. And so I'm letting it in the back burner, let it simmer a little bit before I do stuff to it. But yeah, it's pretty been pretty busy, productive week. I'm doing a lot of cool work, getting a lot of consistent work, which is great. But yeah, that's been my week.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Money, money, money. Extra money is always good.
Yeah, especially around the holiday season.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
not
That's what I forgot. I forgot to send you my Christmas list.
of what? What do you mean your Christmas list?
Yeah, because the holidays are extra money, you got to get me a gift, remember?
I, I do need to give you a gift. I don't
No,
know.
I'm just joking.
I'm gonna get you.
Big pet rock.
Oh yeah, I was gonna give you digital socks.
Actually, that'd be kind of cool.
Like, oh,
Digital socks.
here's a pair of digital mittens for you.
Knowing me, I'll probably wear them. They go, what is that? It's like, my friend Adam gave it to me. Yay. Anyways, okay. Back.
So let's get into the news.
But before the news, do you have grapes?
I was thinking about one. I was thinking about it too, but no, not really.
Yeah, me neither.
Mainly just my sickness, but
Sickness. Yeah, that can be a big grape. Okay, so news.
yeah. Terry, what articles do you have?
Well, I'm going to do this one article. Well, actually, it's really not an article. It's called The Lean Startup CEO. And they have a conference that's going on. I believe it's in Vegas, but there's a but here, which is really cool. They have live streaming. So actually, Adam's going to put the link in the show notes. So if you go to that link and you scroll all the way down, there's a big sign, or CTA says sign up for live stream. So you click that and you can get sign up, and you can actually watch it for free. And then I believe it's on the program is on November 13th on a Tuesday. So I thought it was kind of cool. It's another free conference about lean startups and stuff, and yeah, it's free. Why not? So
Awesome. I'm actually signing up right now.
oh, cool.
I don't know why it wants my home address, but I'll do it. Lean Startup Conference.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So
I'm actually going to a conference as well. If I could pull it up real quick. Ooh, the internet's slow.
So that was that conference. So that'd be pretty cool. So Adam, do you have any news, or should I do one more, because I know you're looking for something?
Sure. Do another one.
Okay. Well, the other one is called Contraste, and what it is, you can actually download it. It's a simple app for checking accessibility of text against the web content, and it's really cool. I actually downloaded myself, and you put it up, and you can hit the little filters, and you can change all the colors, and basically it will tell you if it's pass, or if it's great, or if it's failed, meaning don't do those colors. So I thought that was kind of cool.
I like that. And it's a plugin you could download for.
Yep.
Oh, that's so great.
And it's free. Download Contraste for free, but it's for Mac. Sorry, I don't think they have it for PC, but it says requires Mac OS High Sierra 10.13 or newer. That's the only sidekick about it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. So Adam, what do you think?
I like it. I definitely think we need more tools, especially when it comes to contrast and accessibility. Accessibility, it's only going to get more and more important. And we, sometimes you have stuff that you just need to, that you don't realize it's low contrast, or you're not it's not really one of your top priorities when you're designing stuff often. And so just to have a tool that'll get you back in and put this on your checklist to back in, and hey, don't forget to check this. Oh, right, okay, one more
Yeah.
to put on the list.
Yeah. It's really important. So, Adam, you said you were going to a conference. Did you find it?
Yeah, I'm going to attend Wonder Fair 2018, and it's hosted by Ideo. It's their 10th annual conference, and it's going to be at Pier 28. So if anybody is looking to go to a design conference, check out Wonder Fair.
Oh, nice. And when is it?
It is on the December 6th. So let me read the thing. It says Wonder Fair is back for its 10th year at Ideo San Francisco. Join us for a night on the pier celebrating local crafters, artists, and designers. Enjoy 60 plus independent vendors, food trucks, live music, and solo pianists, and also DJ Leibowitz. Might be Jewish, I don't know. The admission is free to the public, and however, you do need to sign up or get a ticket on Eventbrite. And so, and it says tickets are limited. So I got 2 tickets, and I'm gonna go check it out.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. I don't go to that many events. I saw that this was coming up. It's kind of close by. It's after hours, so it's not going to really affect my work. It's not a huge cost, because most of these kind of events end up costing like an arm and a leg for some reason. And so I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this fits on my checklist of things of reasons why I wouldn't go. The opposite of why I wouldn't go. And so I'm like, oh, I gotta go. So I'll go check it. And if you, well, nobody knows what I look like, but if you see me, listen to the podcast, say hi. Oh, you know what? If if you wanna meet me at the podcast, at the Wonder Fair, and I don't know what you look like or anything, but if you just scream at the top of your lungs, say "Ramblings of a Designer," ramblings of design, and then you'll get my attention. Yeah, we could meet up and talk, but you have to go and scream at the top of your lungs.
Or just bring food and then he'll come.
Yeah, oh, that's true
Steak.
too.
Big burrito here. Steak, food, meatloaf. There you go. No.
So let's see. So I have a bunch of little things I wanted to talk about. The first one I'll talk about then it's called The 7 Deadly Sins of Web Design. This is from Creative Block. And it just kind of talks about these 7 kind of things that we kind of get wrong, that we kind of slip up when we're doing web design, right? And so I'll just kind of go through the list. The first one pretty much is exactly what you're talking about, with contrast. So number 1 is light gray text on a white background. So I know, so for me, I kind of hate 100% black, right? That it's too, I feel like it's too dark. So for me, I like to gray up my text. And then depending on what it is, you kind of go lighter, right? The less important it is, kind of the lighter you go. But oftentimes we get a little bit too light. I know, yeah, I'm working on a project right now where we have the footnotes. And the footnotes look way, way too light, but kind of the decision's already been made. It's kind of hard to talk to people about it. So I'm kind of in a process right now of like trying to see what we can do about it, because it's like barely readable. It definitely doesn't pass these W3C accessibility guidelines. But yeah, so that's number 1, a common pitfall we run into. Number 2 is modals everywhere. And so yeah, that's I definitely see that as a problem, especially on mobile. It sucks to always have, well, I mean, if you go on any website these days, you're going to be bombarded by 50 things before you can get to your actual content. For some reason, you have your sign up to your email, sign up for a newsletter. Oh, check out this ad before. Oh, check out, and then on top of that, we have these other modals that kind of disrupt us when we're trying to fill out forms, or we're trying to when we do something wrong. So that they have so that's number two, or a common pitfall is modals. But there's this website by Adrian Egger who does this pretty cool black and white kind of old school Macintosh OS type of looking website where he gives you some tips for alternatives to having a pop-up modal. And some of his like examples of workarounds could be just like an inline message that pops below whatever you're trying to do, that's collapsible, where you could easily get your message across without having a big old alert pop-up message in your number three, we don't optimize our images enough.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, for me, I kind of struggle with that a little bit, only because like I deal with some websites where, for example, they want these images to be crisp enough to work with Retina display, but it's also so you're kind of exporting images at double the size and what they're supposed to, and then you have to go back and optimize that. And so after a while, like I don't really know what I'm shooting out and giving them, because it's been like enlarged and
trial and error
pressed, and yeah. And so it's still kind of the Wild West out there when it comes to the right type of compression. And Photoshop doesn't really do that great of a job with shooting out a nice clean image, a compressed image. You still have to kind of go to a third party to do it sometimes. And so yeah, I definitely see that as being a problem. There's still websites that when they upload their images, they'll use the exact image they got from a stock site. So it'll be like super high resolution, and it's only used for like it's used as a blog header image or something, but it's like this super huge image because they downloaded it from iStock or something, and they used that the exact resolution that they downloaded it from. It's crazy. Let's see, number four, not prioritizing performance. So yeah, there's these things called like performance budget calculators that you can use to see how many kilobytes your site can load as. And like sometimes we bog down our websites with a bunch of JavaScript and a bunch of code that we don't need sometimes, or should we leave it behind? We don't clean it up, and we need to go back and make sure our images are compressed and we clear everything out. Let's see, number five is using a big framework we don't need. So pretty much just like the last one, we use more stuff than we need sometimes, but yeah. And number six is small body text, where we go too small with text. And number seven is not prioritizing the user. So yeah, Terri, what do you think about these 7 common pitfalls that we go through?
Well, number one, you were saying modals.
Yeah. Well, that's like number 4.
Well, number 4, but that's where it's like, oh my God. I was reading an article and it's like, oh, okay. I was done the article, and then I scroll down and then I click on another article, and then it opens up a new page and I get this big advertisement. Like, what the heck is this? And there's no X, there's no nothing. And it's like, oh, I just got so upset because I couldn't read the article. I was like, oh, you suck. It was just very, very irritating. So yes, I would have to agree with all of those points that you made. And then on a different note, it reminded me of like cleaning out my closet. Like, this doesn't work, or that doesn't work, or do this or do that. So, which actually I probably need to clean out my closet anyways. But other than that, yeah, definitely the images, because it's pretty much it's a crapshoot. Yeah.
Images is a big one.
Yeah, it is.
I would say, at least for on the design side, optimizing these images are something that I think as designers, we kind of get a little lazy from. But It
takes time though too.
Yeah, and like I said, it depends on what like it's such a struggle because you're trying to get the highest quality image, and sometimes you go double the size, and it bloats up your site because you're trying to get that really nice high resolution look and feel. It's kind
Yeah.
of sucks.
I'm just wondering if there's tricks like in Photoshop or maybe in another program to make it look really crisp, but maybe they're not. I don't know. Because they have techniques just for everything else.
Mm-hmm. Well, using third-party optimizers is kind of works too, because I know I don't think Photoshop does this, but before it used to add like a lot of metadata to the
Yeah.
and so it would kind of artificially bloat your image up. I don't know if they still do that, but using these third-party optimizers works pretty well.
Nice.
So yeah,
Cool.
anything else for you?
Yeah, actually, I have two, but I will do one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I found this. I thought it was I just like the title, so I was like, oh, let's go with this. And the title is, well, actually, it's from UX Collective, and the title is How to Design an Apple Design Award-Winning App. I was like, oh, well, that should be interesting.
Well, there
Like
we
the
go.
title.
We just need this one article.
Exactly. So I just like that title. That's why I picked it. I know that's kind of stupid, but it was kind of interesting. So anyways, and the subtitle is an in-depth study into recent ADA winners and what they have in common. And as you keep reading, he tells about from his point of view being, for mobile design, and what does it take. And it says, and he goes on saying, the study for the winning apps till 2014, and he just continues, and there's all these like different apps, and then he's just saying, there was 26 apps that made the cut, and there's 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014, and he just goes over the apps, and I thought it was just kind of interesting and stuff, and the results and everything. So interesting read. It was, it's kind of funny. Well, I thought that was kind of funny and just different, and then he gives points, or points about like interface style design. Make sure it's clean, flat design, simple, minimalist, vector, photo based. So he goes through all of that and just regarding through the years and stuff. So yeah, that's it on that. It was like I said, I just got because of the title. I just like the title. So yeah. So what do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting how he says that like one of the kind of things that he noticed was that the design style was skeuomorphic. I thought people were kind of going away from that to more like flat, kind of illustrative type of design, but interesting. 3D renderings is something that's super big. I see that a lot.
Yeah. But now they're doing of like you were saying, like more illustration. But when you look at it, it's very like flat illustration. But then again, it's still illustration with a little kick to it.
Yep. I love that because I can do that. I don't have to learn a whole new 3D 3D software. Like, I mean, I have dabbled in it a little bit, but it's like there has to be a better way. I wish that there was a way where, like, how we were talking about how Adobe Sensei is able to understand what you're drawing or what your image is. I wonder if there's a way where, like, eventually it'll know what your drawing is, and you kind of help it out, saying, "Oh, I'm making a teddy bear," and then it'll like fluff it up for you or something, or give you like a 3-dimensional look to it.
AI, man, that can be the next command voice command. Why not?
Yeah,
We
hopefully
should,
in the future.
yeah, we should invent it. But I have one more, unless you want to go.
I'll go. The
Okay.
one thing I wanted to talk about was I wanted to talk about Adobe Dimensions. So have you been using Adobe Dimensions?
No.
Okay. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I've been using it off and on, kind of like just casually.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I use it, the more I kind of really like it. So to catch up to speed, Adobe Dimensions is kind of this. I would say it's like 3D mockups for people who don't know 3D.
Ooh.
Yeah. So what it is first off, Adobe Dimensions allows you to. It has a library of all these different types of objects, commonly ones that you would commonly need to put labels on. So, for example, like they have a Chinese takeout box, some retail bags, some lotions, and like makeup product containers. They also have like laptops and iPhones, and then yeah, just like a bunch of different products. Coffee bags, and you could drag that element in onto the artboard. You can color it. You can add different types of texture on it, and then you could apply your logo on it, and you'll be able to like move it where exactly you want it to go, and then you render it out in 3D, and it's pretty cool. I like it. Some of the features that I really really like about it is that one, it has a bunch of different lighting scenarios, situations. So like if you're trying to get like the right kind of studio lighting, or if you want to get like neon cool lighting, you can throw that in there too. If you want to get like an outdoor lighting, you could throw that on your device, on your 3D object, and it'll render that out. And then like you could let's say you wanted to put, well, one of the things I used it for is I needed to have a device in the background of this image. And so I was able to drag a laptop in, and I was able to match the perspective because you're able to move it around in 3D space. And I was able to place it exactly where it needed to be. And it has this button that says like match image, and it'll map the lighting to whatever the lighting is in that image. And so it'll like throw that image into the background. So if you have like a really shiny reflective 3D object, you'll see the image kind of as the background of that 3D mockup.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And after that, you're able to export it. You're able to export it two ways. You could export it as a ping, or you could export it as layers in Photoshop. And so you'll have your image on one layer, and then you'll have the device as a flat image, though. And then it'll give you like the series of just different light passes. I'm pretty sure like people who know 3D know what these like different kind of light channels are, but they also include that as well. And so yeah, I was able to I although I did find it kind of hard to put in the screenshot. I was trying to put a screenshot on the laptop, and it was super hard to do. Like it to scale was a little tricky, and then and then it wasn't the exact dimensions, and so I had to like warp it a little bit, and so I didn't like that. So I did a better job doing that in Photoshop, but I like that I had the option to do so if I needed to. But yeah, I definitely would recommend it. Um, I don't know. Like I can just see just a lot of just different practical mock-up scenarios you could probably use it for, and it takes it away from just like having to deal with all these stock kind of images. Like if you could have, or at least if you have stock images where you can place these devices on, uh,
Mm-hmm.
it'll just make it more unique as opposed to seeing the same stock images you see over and over again. Like I always see the same images when they're putting a logo on the outside of a building kind of thing. I always see those same logos, like a corporate logo. They have it like behind a wooden wall in 3D or something. So I always see that. So I feel like this is a cool way to like,
Brand.
yeah, to make it more into your style. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. Some things I don't like about it is I found it kind of hard to import 3D objects. Like for example, so there's another Adobe product called Adobe Fuse, which is kind of like a character creator that you'd see in a video game. You could pick a type of character, and then you could adjust the facial features and what they're wearing, and then you could save that 3D object. You can't directly import it into Adobe Dimensions. You'd have to first bring it into Photoshop and then export it as a .obj file and then bring it in. But then when you do that, it strips away all the material and color. And so you'd have to re-add in or add in whatever kind of features you can within Dimensions. And so I didn't like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, it sucks.
Because that's like, you did work, then you're taking away work, then you got to add more work. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so that kind of sucks. But they should. I mean, these are two specifically 3D softwares from Adobe. They need to merge these somehow, and which I mean, I'm pretty sure that's on the way. But it's just like for right now, it's kind of annoying. And for me especially, I'm not that keen on 3D. I know a little bit of it. I took it in college to some extent, but I'm not an expert. And to know how to manipulate files or whatever, it's just kind of, it's a lot more than I have time to do. But so yeah, I definitely would recommend it. Terry, do you see maybe you using this in the future?
Right now, no. To be plain and simple, no. I mean, just after the whole elaborate, like it doesn't do this, and it's like, you know what? I don't have time to like mess around with like certain things.
Mhm.
It's kind of like betting on the ponies, right? You want to make sure your bet is good and it's solid, and you don't want to waste your $2.
Mhm.
But yeah, if they merge it. And if it's like really easy to use, like, yeah, maybe. But right now, I wouldn't have. I mean, if I had extra hours, then yeah, maybe I'll check it out. But right now, in the next 3 to 6 months, I would have to say no, not
So
for me.
like so from my portfolio site, I had a lot of 3D mockups that I created personally in Blender. But it took forever. Like luckily I was able to get the 3D resources off of online. Through free resources. They have free iPad mockups and free iPhone mockups or whatever. But it took forever to like I had to figure out the lighting situation, and I didn't know how to do the reflective qualities and the materials all too well. And this one makes it a little bit easier, and so I think I'm going to go this route for the future.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah, just because now I know how to do it, and now like I said, I could bring in images. I could bring in images
You
like
know what?
go ahead.
I think be kind of cool for. Um, you can say no,
Hmm.
but but
I'm already saying no.
oh hush. Um, So when you're talking about the 3D and you have your lotion or this little canister, could you be able to do like a 2 minute, like to kind of show us? I think that'd be kind of interesting if you did like that in this.
Like a quick instructional video of how to use Adobe Dimensions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're making it, oh, the special product. No, it's like, okay, well, you open up the software. I have this logo and here's this can. And then you have this and then you put the logo on the can, boom, and then you're done.
Yeah. I mean, I could show some of the things that worked and didn't work for me. Um, like that'd be kind of cool. And I was also playing around with it because, like, for example, one of my projects down the line was to possibly do like a store. And so just to play around, I was like, oh, oh, would you need for the store? And I was like, oh, you know what? I would need product shots, and um, I would need like, let's say for example, I was thinking about possibly doing clothing, and so I was like, oh, I'll need model shots. But the thing is, like, I don't have any models, and so how would I do it? And so that's where I got the idea. I was like, oh, you know what? Let me see what I could do with Fuse and see how that worked. And it still looks kind of, you could tell it's not a real model because it looks like the person looks fake. But I thought I was coming up with some cool designs, even though they weren't like real physical objects. It's
Yeah.
I don't know how that works or how that looks, but that seems like a cool or an interesting avenue. So we'll see.
Yeah. Just to get, if anybody's out there, if they, again, this is maybe another way for them if they don't have a portfolio, say, maybe the 3D can bring in to showcase their app or something, or a logo in
Mhm.
someone's space or something. Just to give them a little different extra secret sauce, maybe.
Yeah, because I mean, the way I see it is, I'm always hesitant to use like stock mock-ups that I see. You know how they have like, oh, somebody holding a phone, and then you put your app on the phone, only because like I,
Everybody's doing that.
yeah, I would assume that if you're a hiring manager or something, you would have seen like these images over and over again. And so like it doesn't seem that unique. And then you can definitely
Uh,
see the errors if you try to, pull a fast one,
it's
especially if you see the same mock-ups over and over again.
Well, it depends. I mean, that's why they have different themes and mock-ups, and when you take these, you have to make it your own and just make it really different because you're competing with dozens and dozens of UX UI designers too.
Yeah.
So, visual is it's not just everything, but you have to have a decent portfolio and resume, and then when you get the call to interview, just don't be a jackass.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true too.
yeah, I mean, I've hear I've heard plenty of like crazy stories of just people that are trying to get into the industry, and when they go, oh my god, this guy was a total jerk to me, and he was just like, why should we hire you, and da 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 da. And she's like, well, yeah, well, that should give you some kind of sense, like, do you really want to work with somebody like that? Do you really want to work for a company,
Hmm.
that is like that, that's going to put you down, or that's going to me, sayonara, dude. I'm out of here, right? So it's just, you know play with the stock images, uh, play with of what um of what Adam is like sharing now and stuff, and try to make it your own. Just try to make it different, and just play with it. If you have the time, play with it. Why not?
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, right now for me, I don't have the time, but my time is elsewhere. But yeah, I mean, again, if all these programs are like new, I mean, you can become of an you can be of an expert in that program that basically nobody else has. Why not? If again, if you're starting out and you're not too sure where to go, well, pick up a program maybe Adobe has, and you're not sure how to do it, and become an expert in that. At least you are showcasing different. And when you are competing with the other UX UI designers who make code, or maybe they know illustration, or maybe they have this, that, XYZ, but it's like, hey, I can do this. Like, whoa, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Like animation or editing. Okay, I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off, Adam.
No, no.
Go.
Well, like, the way I see it is like for me personally, I'm paying for the Adobe Creative Cloud, and so I'm gonna get my money's worth. I'm gonna see
Yeah,
what all
that's
these
true.
programs do. I'm gonna use them all as much as possible because, uh, like darn it, I'm paying for I'm paying for all
Yeah,
these.
that's true. You are.
And if you're not paying for it, and if you work for a company where they provide it for you, I'm like, yeah, get as much as you can out of it. Like you have access to all these resources where you wouldn't have otherwise, where you would have to like pay for it otherwise. And so if you have these resources, like use the heck out of them. Like
Yeah.
right now, my current position I'm pushing to have much more just animated stuff, animated graphics, and that's more just for me to learn kind of on the job too. It's not really required, so I'm kind of going out of the making the extra effort to be like, look, I'm gonna try to add something cool to my designs by adding these animated elements into as well. And if they work, great. It's gonna add to the website, or it's gonna add to whatever I'm designing, and it's gonna help me out too because I'm gonna be learning how to be better at it. And so that's why I'm making it a kind of a goal to try to include as much animated things whenever I do my work now, just so I could add something more to my
Mhm.
resume, if you will.
Yeah. Well, also too, talk about animation, because anything you do in animation, it's all about user experience. Again, it goes back to the user. Are you going to have this little bubble go boop, pop open, come down? What? So, Adam is, he's dead on. Like, going to add more animation. Well, learn about the animation and learn about the UX about the animation, because that's going to help you to get better and to understand the common design patterns again.
Mm-hmm.
So
But yeah, that was my little talk about Adobe Dimensions. I'm really liking it. It's still pretty new. I hope it's not one of those softwares where they kind of abandon, like they did with the Edge kind of softwares that Edge bundle that they had. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I would assume that they wouldn't get rid of it right away since they're doing a kind of, I feel like they're doing more of a push for 3D AR kind of things. So we'll see. But yeah, Terry, what articles do you have?
yeah, I have one more, and it's from Fast Company. The title is Ideo Breaks Its Silent on Design Thinking Critics. And I would say it's a very opinion article, and it's just very interesting. On the third line, you have a swear word. So I thought that was kind of cool. because like because like you really don't see articles, they're very like, well, then this and then that. It's not like really raw.
Hmm.
And I feel this article is raw, and that's what I like about it and stuff.
Yeah, I'm surprised that design thinking is such a divisive thing in the design industry.
Yeah,
Like
it is. It's
they're
crazy.
saying even in the article it says it's even been compared to syphilis.
I know. So it's just I don't want to give too much into it, because go out and read it and find it so you know what we're talking about. The third line was a bad word in it. It was like, ooh, I got mine, just because it's, again, it's raw. It's kind of like throw in your face, raw, here it is. And sometimes I like those kind of articles too. So anyway, that's it for me.
Yeah, I did. I actually did read that article, and I was going to include it, which is kind of funny, but I was like, it seems like it's heavy. Like I'm gonna have to get really into it in order to talk about
Yeah.
it. I was like,
Yeah. Well, that's why I saved it for last. And like I said, it's a very raw kind of article. So if you're in the mood to read it, read it. If you don't, then forget about it. Don't worry about it.
So then I have two quick ones. One is I saw this one on Twitter, and it's from Pablo Stanley.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I just saw this post that he did that I guess what he's doing is he's creating a library of kind of interchangeable characters that you could use in your designs. And what it is from what he shows in his example, it's like you could have a character kind of walking, and then you could swap out its legs for like walking or just standing or wearing pants or shorts, and then you could manipulate kind of the angles that they come in, and then you could swap out the faces for different types of faces. And from his Twitter post, he says, "I'm starting a library for creating illustration scenes. You'll be able to mix and match characters, poses, clothings, and backgrounds with components. It's at a very early stage, and it will be available in at Envision App Studio." So I thought that was pretty cool. I'd say definitely check it out. It looks pretty interesting. I like the idea of having having that variety of characters, because oftentimes it can get kind of tricky if you need to include like 10 different characters and you're like, oh, I have to do 10 different mock-ups of, of different characters. And oh no, now this person has to have an eye patch because I ran out of like a way to make it visually interesting, or the person has the same style of hair but she's darker. It's like it's pretty much where you go to. I did see an article not too long ago. I wanted to bring it up, but I couldn't find it. It was kind of how characters oftentimes our characters that we put for our mock-ups aren't really inclusive. It's not as inclusive as we think, and we have to do a better job at making it more gender neutral icons, more um, national generic as well. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of hard to do. I don't know. I don't know if we can how I need to see more examples of that in order to find something that's like non-gender, non-race type of type of design, and then do it with multiples. That,
Yeah, that'd be challenging.
yeah. I mean,
But that's designed for the future too. Who knows?
yeah. I guess the route would be to go like in Doug. If you ever saw the cartoon Doug, they had the characters that were like purple and green or something. So maybe you could go that route or something. But I was like,
Yeah.
man. But then I wouldn't know how to make it genderless. So that's hard too. I don't know. Oh well. But this character kind of creator thing, it looks kind of cool. I like the idea of mix and matching, especially in pose. So if you have like walking, but you wanted to make it a different looking face, you could easily swap that out. That looks pretty cool. But yeah,
Cool.
the last thing I have is I saw this cool artwork this week, and the artist designer is named Chenxiang SONG. He's a local artist. So what he did was he really liked Matchbox as a child, and he wanted to kind of update it into now, and he wanted to include kind of just stuff from the things that he grew up with, and so he did a series of kind of Matchbox style inspired vehicles based off of popular movies and yeah, I guess popular movies and TV. So he does one where he includes the Pizza Planet truck from Toy Story, which if anybody knows Pixar, you definitely know the Pizza Planet truck. That's everywhere. He did one called Magnum Force. I don't know exactly where that's from. Magnum Force. I'm guessing that's like a Clint Eastwood movie. He has The Simpsons Homer's car from The Simpsons, Due South, which is I'm guessing that's a movie. Some of these I don't know exactly what they are. Um, they have the taxi from Die Hard 3, which is pretty famous. I saw that movie like a couple months ago, and so I definitely know what they're talking about there. The cars, the little buggy Mini Coopers from the Italian Job, and the truck from the Transformers, the bus from Speed. And so yeah, he did like these series of illustrations. I thought it was pretty cool. They look really cool, sleek. They look like they would eventually be Matchbox cars. So I thought he did a great job. I wanted to give him a shout out. And yeah, what do you think of making illustrations based off your childhood with a specific style and at scale?
No, I think that's cool. I mean, Yeah, I mean, they're cars.
Yeah. And especially I think it would be interesting. You could get really obscure with it too. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
you could do the plane from the plane, the train, and automobile from
yeah,
plane to an automobile, or you could do,
yeah. Or do movies.
yeah, you could do,
Yeah, which he's done. Yeah, because he said he has like Die Hard 3, and then the Italian Job. So
yeah,
yeah. No, they're very his craft is very nice. Absolutely.
yeah, it's
Very
pretty cool.
impressed.
It's simple. It's definitely something that I definitely enjoyed. I love mixing my nostalgia in with my designs. And so to see somebody else do it and do it so well, it's pretty cool. I definitely like it.
Cool.
And that's it.
All right, Adam. So where can we find you at?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Adan Zepeda. That's AdanZepeda. And I'm also on Instagram at adanz.designs. What about you, Terry? Where can we find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Flaxen Ink. It's FLAXENINK.
All right. And we're still working on putting us on iHeartRadio. I guess we didn't realize we weren't on it. And so I've been trying to get us on there. So look for us if you listen to iHeartRadio maybe next week.
Nice.
And that's it. Thank you, everyone, for listening if you did. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Aloha.
Bye.